So we've all heard the term, but there's resting heart rate and max heart rate, and they're found completely different. Your resting heart rate is a measure of your average heartbeats per minute while your body's in a complete state of rest. So the best time in which we figure out what your true resting heart rate is when we're sleeping. And that's what we'll find in a lot of different wearables, whether it's Whoop, whether it's Oura Ring, whether it's BioStrap, you name it, Apple Watch, it doesn't matter. That's when we should be looking at what our true actual resting heart rate is. Like I said, is when we're sleeping. And the lower, the better, because it basically means that our body is more efficient at pumping blood through our body. And the way in which we make it better or lower is by having a higher fitness level, having lower levels of stress, and ultimately living a healthier lifestyle. And we're gonna see trends over the course of time that are going to make that resting heart rate a lot lower to begin with. Now, that's also why resting heart rate and HRV, heart rate variability, are inversely related. So the lower the resting heart rate, the higher your HRV. If you take a look at any parts of the data, you're gonna see that they're completely inversely related. Now, conversely, with max heart rate, that is how high our heart rate gets during certain bouts of exercise. So the harder the exercise, the higher that heart rate's gonna be. And now, how long can you hold a high heart rate for? Completely depends on how fit you are, completely depends on what the activity is, and ultimately we want to be able to understand what our max heart rate is. If we go 220 minus our age, it's a simple way to understand that. It's going to give us the variations of where we can train to get different adaptations. So if we're looking to really push that anaerobic threshold and kind of that feeling where we start to have the legs burning, we want to be on that upper echelon of like 75 to 80% plus of our max heart rate. Now, if we're just going for aerobic work, simply to improve our aerobic fitness, like going for a long run or something like that, we want to be in that 60 to 75% of our max heart rate range. So again, remember, the more exercise we do, the fitter we are, the more resistant we're going to be to heart rate rises. As well, we're going to be able to hold a higher max heart rate level longer. And again, going back to the efficiency aspect, the more fit we are, the more efficient our heart is to get oxygenated blood throughout the body. Thus, it doesn't need to beat as quickly. So that is why it's super important to know what your resting heart rate is and what your max heart rate is, so that again, we can measure not only our level of fitness, but also identify the best ways in which we can continue to make ourselves more efficient, more healthy, and have quantifiable numbers to continue to compare. Go own it.